Hi, I'm Luke Machin from The Tangent and Machine, and you're watching Live Prog.
Hello there, welcome to Live Prog. I am your host, Marcel Haster. What makes an album a great album that you want to have it? Is it the compositions, the lyrics, the artwork, the musicians that played on it? Or is your first attention drawn to the name on the cover? And is that what you based, this is good, this is bad? What about this one then? Well, you don't really see a name, but it's in small print up here. Steven Wilson, the raven that refused to sing. What's your expectation with that? I am a huge fan of Steven Wilson for many years, ever since I first heard Stupid Dream by Porcupine Tree. I'll be honest, I'm mainly a big fan of his Porcupine Tree material. I also looked at his other projects, but they never clicked with me. Then there was this moment that Steven Wilson released his first solo album, Insurgentis. Well, of course, I bought it, blindly, just straight away, Steven Wilson, buy it. But I found out that it didn't sound the same as Porcupine Tree. Of course, I was in that state of mind. So I kind of liked it, but didn't really have a feeling for it. Then his second album came out, Grace for Drowning, and I also had, I didn't like the previous one that much. I bought it and I gave it a try, but for some reason, it didn't click to me as much as the Porcupine Tree material did. Well, of course, that happens. We all have our taste. Then his third album came. This one, The Raven That Refused to Sing. Well, I gotta say, you always say don't judge a book by its cover. If I would judge the book by the cover, I don't think I would buy it. I mean, also if you look on the inside, this is basically the same kind of drawing and maybe the same kind of artist that was also present on The Incident by Porcupine Tree. And I didn't really like that artwork. So, artwork based, I don't know. Not very enthusiastic about it, but the artwork is only a part of the experience. It's about the music, of course. The moment that things changed for me about this album was the moment that I saw the Luminol live video on YouTube. That impressed the hell out of me. I was kind of addicted to it, I kept on watching it and was amazed by what I saw there. I mean, you have this fantastic group of musicians on stage playing Steven Wilson's music, but the funny thing is I didn't see Steven Wilson as the center of attention. I saw all these musicians doing their thing, doing what they were good at, and combined they brought something fantastic. And I noticed that Steven Wilson was really comfortable in his role as frontman. He didn't have a lot of pressure on it because he moved from the singing microphone to the keyboards, to the guitar, walking around on stage, while the rest of the band, played and created the song. And two people really, gave me the goosebumps when I saw that video. Nick Becks and Marco Minnemann. I mean, Nick Becks, I wasn't, that name didn't ring a bell. I looked him up and I thought, oh my god, Kajagoogoo. Yes, when I was a young kid, I loved that band very much. So it is so cool to see him now here in this track playing amazing bass parts there. I mean, the bass parts in Luminol are absolutely stunning. And then Marco Minnemann, there's this fantastic, relaxed drummer laying down this fantastic groove. And together, Nick Becks and Marco Minnemann make a fantastic rhythm section. That was so amazing. Then you have Theo Travis. The first time I saw him was, at least consciously saw him, I heard his name of course, but was on the Going Off on 2 DVD by The Tangent. And there I loved his part in that show as well, and the same goes here. And it's funny, I did a little bit of research looking back at the previous two solo albums by Steven Wilson, And I noticed that Theo Travis has been playing on all 3 of his studio albums. Nick Beggs played on Grace for Drowning as well. So it's not the first time that Steven Wilson plays with these amazing musicians. There are more musicians, but there's also more music, because Luminol is the first track on the album. The mood, the atmosphere that you find in that track is simply fantastic. You know, there's a lot going on, but the second track has a totally different mood. It's more down. It's fragile. It's delicate. You know, it's soft. Drive Home is a highlight for me on the album, and the main reason, I'm going to be honest, is that part that happens, you know, along the way in the song. With Mr. Guthrie Govan, the lead guitar player. I mean, Steven Wilson does guitar, but Guthrie Govan is the main guitar player. I heard his name before, but I was not familiar with his music and with his performance. But what he does in Drive Home is so incredible. If you hear this, it will give you goosebumps. You will go crazy. You will crank up the volume. You will love it. He has such an incredible guitar solo there. Wow. Yeah, I really needed a moment after that, because this guitar solo is so incredible. I mean, everybody talks about David Gilmour in Comfortably Numb or Steve Hackett in Firth the Fifth, but all this one can go in straight between them, because this guitar solo is so fantastic. And of course that is not the only thing that Mr. Guthrie Govan does. That's not the only reason why he stands out. He is an incredible guitar player, and the atmosphere on this album, and that is, I think, the most important thing you find on it. The atmosphere on The Raven That Refused to Sing and Other Stories, 5 other stories to be exact, is so amazing. I mean, there are a couple of tracks that are a bit more heavy, a bit more psychedelic. You have, of course, Luminol, but also the track Holy Drinker. But the rest of the songs are much softer and more, you know, intimate, and they have this feeling. I mean, especially if you look at all the subject matter that Steven Wilson writes about and composes his songs about. It's all about the supernatural. It's about ghosts, but not the scary part of ghosts, but more the interaction and the effect that they have on people. So that's a different angle, and it's not a horror album, but it's more. It's a very emotional album. That's at least what I picked up when I listened to it. I mentioned Holy Drinker, another surprise. I mean, I knew that Steven Wilson was a very versatile musician, but I knew he could play guitar, I knew he could play keyboards, I knew he could sing very well, but I didn't know he could also play bass guitar, and he does that very well on Holy Drinker. Another very nice addition that I found there is Nick Beggs doing the Chapman stick. I am a big stick fan. I think it's a great instrument, and it's so cool that it is featured on this album as well.
The watchmaker works all day and long into the night. He pieces things together despite his failing sight. Though all the cogs connect with such.
I'm missing one person in the lineup, Adam Holtzman. You know I am a keys man, and if you see what he does piano, he does Hammond, he does Fender Rhodes, he plays the Moog. And the strength about Adam Holtzman is that he is basically invisible. You don't notice him. But if you listen closely to the music, you hear this beautiful piano part here, you hear a beautiful Moog solo there, you hear this nice Hammond. He fills up this beautiful musical palette that Steven Wilson is kind of offering us on this album, and he does it fantastic, and all the musicians work together so brilliantly and create something so beautiful that I am impressed. I am really impressed. Now, there are 2 more beautiful songs, The Pin Drop and The Watchmaker, and they have that same almost eerie atmosphere that really captures you, you know. That is something that this album did. It captured me. The atmosphere, the whole feeling, the emotions that you find in it. Wow, almost tangible, almost if you could touch it. But it all leads up to this big finale. The final piece, the last song on the album, the title song, The Raven That Refused to Sing. Already this one was given away on YouTube with a really beautiful video. The first time I saw it, I thought, you know, what is this kind of video? But from the moment I started watching it, I couldn't stop until it was finished. And that video and that song clearly show you what this album is all about. That video makes it so perfectly clear that the emotion that you find on this album. I mean, I'm speechless. I'm really speechless and overwhelmed by it. And again, you know, the whole atmosphere in that song is so tender, so fragile. It's like you're holding this vase, this glass vase, really, you know, thin, that you're almost afraid that even by touching it you'll break it. That is the atmosphere that I find on especially The Raven That Refused to Sing, the title track, but also on the rest of the album. And so I say, you know, if I look back at my expectations were a bit mixed, you know. I still love the Porcupine Tree stuff. I'm not as much as a big fan of the solo material of Steven Wilson, but with this one I am really impressed. And I'm going back and listen to Grace for Drowning. I'm going to listen to Insurgentes and see maybe, you know, I should listen to them again and open my mind a little bit more. But this album, The Raven That Refused to Sing, is a gem. It's a fantastic album. There have been a lot of beautiful albums that have been released this year, but this one is an absolute highlight. And even if you're not a big fan of Steven Wilson, if you're not a big fan of Porcupine Tree, listen to it. Just open your mind, listen to it, and listen how beautiful this music is. And otherwise, just listen to the Luminol track or watch the Raven That Refused to Sing video, and I will assure you, you will want to have a copy of this album, definitely. So, my expectations for the next Steven Wilson solo album are very high again. I'm really much looking forward to this. But for now I say, Steven, thank you for this beautiful